anybody who is a victim of my Ligma tweet, I apologize. It was nothing personal and I meant no offense to you by it, but it was totally worth it. There were other responses to my "this Ligma outbreak is actually really scary," like unironically tweet, but we'll get back to those hopefully after we cover some other slightly more pressing Ligma related news. So the Ligma outbreak that I've already mentioned is actually genuinely scary. 853 people have already been confirmed dead in Florida, which is where this outbreak is believed to have begun. If you type in Ligma into Twitter search, you'll see that many of our favorite household YouTuber names are becoming victims of Ligma. Keemstar recently revealed that he's been diagnosed with Ligma and has been given 90 days to live, and I can only wish him a fruitful life for the rest of his days. Boogie4Numbers said his Ligma, which was previously thought to have been kept under control, has been acting up again, likely due to re-exposure to Ligma thanks to the recent outbreak. We can only really pray that Boogie's able to beat it a second time, which sadly is not very likely. Perhaps most notably though is the news of the untimely loss of a young yet biggest name in, well, I would say esports, but perhaps one of the biggest names in the world right now. The world's biggest Fortnite streamer, Ninja, has passed away due to Ligma.
We have some breaking news that just came out today. The popular Fortnite Twitch streamer Ninja has been diagnosed with Ligma. That's right, there have been CBS News articles made about this, multiple different articles made of people claiming that Ninja has this deadly disease called Ligma. And if you look, there's been so many comments recently of people saying that Ninja is no longer with us.
Now this story made absolute headlines. The clip we just showed was from Scarce, who we first heard the story from. The team over at Pew News dedicated a segment to spreading Ligma awareness in the wake of Ninja's death. Now we here at the Kwite YouTube channel can only express our deepest condolences and thoughts for the family and friends of Ninja. He was an upcoming creator who was paving the way for a whole new form of entertainment to be popularized, and he has left us far too soon. As you can probably guess, it's a very sensitive topic, especially for those who were close to Ninja, or just those who looked up and enjoyed his content. We can only ask that anybody watching this give Ninja, his friends, and family the time and space they need to heal from the loss of Ninja. I mean, it's a bit disgusting how much of a joke people are treating this like. Just the other day, Ninja was streaming, and some people dropped into that stream to confront him about the fact that he had been killed. I mean, the dude just died. Give him some time to enjoy playing Fortnite before you confront him about his own death. It eventually got so bad that Ninja had to start issuing bans to people spamming Ligma in his chat.
Yo, mods, let's start banning all of the Ligma stuff, please. Just like start with like a 24-hour ban, and then just go straight to bans. The videos will still come out, man. Every day for you guys.
It's very insensitive to say that, especially to someone who had just died from Ligma. The guy cares so much about what he does that even when he's fucking dead, he's still pumping out content and streaming. Now, for those of you who are confused over just what Ligma is, let me try to give you a brief explanation that will hopefully clear the air on some of your confusion around the disease. That way you can stay informed and hopefully be more prepared. Now, you may have guessed, but Ligma is highly infectious. It's contracted in a way that very few other diseases are. It's transmitted through human communication, specifically linguistic communication, like through English words. It can be done through either verbal communication or in person, or more scarily, it can be done through text, from miles away, through the internet, through phone lines, through data. This is what has doctors especially worried over this thing getting even more out of hand. Those who are uninformed are extremely vulnerable. Now, there is only one known hard stop way to prevent yourself from being infected with Ligma, at least that doctors have been able to figure out. There's no vaccine of any form for Ligma as of yet, and one thing that you need to take particular note of is that there are people who are unlicensed and are not doctors at all. They are just scammers peddling the idea that they have some kind of vaccine for Ligma, when in reality they're just fear-mongering to try and get some money out of people. And the stuff they end up injecting you with is God knows what. I repeat, there is no vaccine for Ligma as of now, but the actual method that works goes like this. Whenever somebody mentions Ligma in conversation, whether that's in person, through text, you see it in passing on your Twitter timeline, do not ask what Ligma is. Do not fucking ask what Ligma is. If you do, that is when the infection will take its chance to spread. If you ask the question, the reply, whether it's in person, through verbal communication, through text, that is what will kill you. The response will be something along the lines of Ligma balls, Ligma nuts, or something equally as deadly. When you get responded to on Twitter or something online, it's not known whether the thing replying to you is an actual human or an automaton of an account that's controlled by the virus, making use of a fake account or one that's co-opted from a human to spread its infection. Hearing or reading or just registering the input of this reply in your head after you specifically have asked the question of what Ligma is, it will instantly kill you. Dead. Like being thrown in a trash compactor, but infinitely more embarrassing. Not asking the question in the first place is the only known way to avoid contracting the disease. That is why it is important to stay informed on what Ligma is, to stay alert, and if anybody mentions Ligma, do not ask what it is. Because now you already know what it is. You don't need to ask anymore. But if someone does mention it, just carry on the conversation without asking what Ligma is, or if you're feeling risky, call them out on the virus's infection attempt to render their approach on you inert. But I would recommend not being a hero. Play it safe if you can. You're probably just better off running away from anybody who brings Ligma up in a conversation. Side note, one of the things I think I'm most proud of accomplishing in my lifetime is when I was doing the research for this video, I named the Google Doc Ligma Notes, like Ligma Nuts, but it's notes instead of nuts. That's the funniest piece of material I ever have, and more than likely ever will write. Now I want to go back to my initial tweet about Ligma and take some time to commemorate some of those unfortunate individuals who fell victim to the Ligma by asking the dreaded question. Rest in peace, first of all, to Widow at Widoki_XD. Your name is absolutely fucking awful, but you're dead now, so I don't want to make fun of you too much. You died at 12:42 p.m. on July 23rd, 2018. Cause of death, Ligma by way of @AidenBoy6. It's a hell of a way to go out, man, but being killed by that account specifically is one I cannot imagine you're extremely proud of. And rest in peace to our second victim, Riley Burke, who died from Ligma by way of @Deratoast, who has a distorted Vsauce Michael as their profile pic. That's just unfortunate now, isn't it? Now, I want to take a look at some of these other replies because it appears that a good amount of people were already informed on Ligma, thank God, and have either talked about how they've taken the proper precautions they can to avoid contracting Ligma themselves in the replies, or they just shitposted. I want to read through these tweets to make sure I can do my part in spreading information that I may have not known about, and so I can point you away from the people trying to spread bad advice on surviving this epidemic. Here's a reply from Twitter Duck number 73, whose account can be found right next to Dull and Dark and Quackity HQ. This duck in particular says, "I got vaccinated, so I'm good." This is extremely worrying to me. I said earlier in the video that no vaccines have been developed for Ligma as of yet, and I just checked again to see if there was a breakthrough, and at the time of the duck tweeting this, there hasn't been anything. So there was one of two possibilities here. Billy, or @TermHQ, which is this particular duck's name, is A, either lying about getting a vaccine for Ligma, giving false hope to people who are hoping to find one, or perhaps more sinisterly, is trying to draw people into a false vaccine on purpose to con them out of their money. Or B, Billy is one of the victims of one of these false vaccine schemes. To any of you out there, let me reiterate one more time. If somebody is offering you Ligma vaccines, do not take it. I do not care who it comes from. They are trying to lure you into something dangerous and exploitative. The truth is, you have no idea what they're putting into your body. Hell, they might not even know what they're putting into your body. Bailey, if you are one of these people who have been lied to about a Ligma vaccine, the only thing I can say is best of luck. God knows what they gave you will do to you. There were a couple of people who are relating this event to previous outbreaks of diseases that have similar traits to Ligma, like the Bofa outbreak some of you might remember from our childhoods. One person said that the Ligma outbreak was almost as bad as the Suckma outbreak, and to the person who said that, I really don't get what you were thinking in this tweet. We can all agree that the prior Suckma outbreak was bad, yes, and there were losses that are no less tragic than the ones under Ligma, but Suckma was nipped in the bud so much faster, and it was much less widespread. Even if it was a bigger epidemic, there's no way it could have prepared us for this newest crop of Ligma cases. We're dealing with something entirely new, something that we have no experience with. Even the things that are comparable to it just don't reach it in the heights of its danger. It's just not comparable, and it seems like you're really just trying to minimize the issue at hand for whatever reason. So high and mighty of you, Edwin the Penguin. Now, like I was saying... Oh, I've just gotten word of something very urgent in regards to the study of the behavior of Ligma. Now, as we all know, and as we mentioned earlier in the video, Ninja has passed due to his contraction of Ligma. Once again, rest in peace to him, but it should be noted that there has been activity on his account since his time of death. But the activity that is most worrying is a reply the account made to one of PewDiePie's tweets. The account made a tweet that was only a single word: Ligma. This tweet was made post-mortem. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs in regards to Ligma yet. We now know that Ligma can take control of the social media accounts, or at least the Twitter account, that belonged to the infected host body in order to spread the virus even further. And now they have an account as influential as Ninja's. Oh my god. No. No! No! PewDiePie responded to the tweet asking what Ligma is. He's supposed to know better! He made an awareness campaign about Ligma on his own! Why, Felix? Why? And the Ligma-infected Ninja account responded to PewDiePie with a gif of a guy fondling a pair of 8-balls. God help us. Ligma has PewDiePie now too. That much influence, that much power under the control of something that only exists to spread itself and to kill. We're doomed. And on that note, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up here. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to drop a like, and if you're new, subscribe. If you guys have any advice on the defense against Ligma, be sure to leave that in the comments below. If you guys think I missed anything on the dangers of Ligma, or that I got anything wrong, which I doubt it because I heavily researched this piece, be sure to leave that in the comments as well. I have a podcast with Wild Spartans and FBS Diesel called Loudmouth. We upload 2 new episodes every week on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we're up on iTunes,